Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Namibia. Now, the Africa Telecommunications Union is a specialized agency of the Organization of African Unity, now known as the African Union, in the field of telecommunications. Namibia is an active member of the ATU and also serves on the ATU Council through the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. Namibia, through the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia, CRAN, which is a public enterprise resorting under the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, is hosting one of 4 preparatory meetings in the Namibian capital, and it's underway at the present moment. Joining us with more details, Mr. John Ormo, Secretary General of the Africa Telecommunications Union, as well as Madame Ronelle Legransi, Executive Engineering and Technical Services at CRAN. Good morning, lady. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning.
How are you doing, Madame Legransi? It's been a minute since you've been here, in my presence.
In your presence.
I don't know whether you visit secretly when I'm not here.
No, I didn't. But yeah, today we are here for a totally different topic.
Absolutely. You wear multiple hats. You do so all the time.
Sometimes I wear multiple hats, yes.
Yeah. Mr. Ormo, how is Namibia treating you?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you.
While you have the floor, talk to us about the ATU. What exactly is its mandate? Why was it established, etc.?
As you have rightly said, the ATU and its predecessor organization, the Pan-African Telecommunications Union, established in 1977, does work with governments and the private sector in terms of the realization of Africa's dreams on ICT development. And so that's the primary reason for which we exist. We work with governments and the private sector in terms of realizing our dreams for ICT development. It's a membership-based organization, a specialized organ of the African Union, and our vision is to ensure that we have an inclusive continent that ensures that ICT plays a core and central role in terms of our development. We do this by working with governments in terms of the policy direction that our countries take, with the private sector in terms of the challenges and opportunities that are available to them within our countries, and also dialoguing with the international community in terms of Africa's aspirations for ICT development.
Thank you so much for the comprehensive overview. Madam Legransi, before I return to Mr. Ormo to ask what the challenges in the sector are from his perspective, what are the challenges back home? And I only now realized what you meant about being here in a different capacity, because I'm also equally tempted to ask you, are we all finally registered? Is everyone's SIM card, everyone's dual SIM cards registered?
I will say we had a very good response from the public on SIM card registration. As you know, all deadlines has passed. We have not received complaints of anybody that is without services, which means everybody really took the next step to register.
Very well.
And that one will conclude in the SIM card registration.
That chapter is closed?
That chapter is now closed.
All right, officially on Good Morning Namibia.
Yes.
Yeah.
For us, our role in the Africa Telecommunications Union as a member state of the union is very important. It also gives us a chance to prepare as we set the governance framework for 5G, IoT, artificial intelligence, and many other issues we'd like to discuss, from enhancing capacity building, digital skills, digital transformation, but to make sure that Africa speaks with one voice, also at the international fora, so that we can strategize and shape the outcomes of those meetings to benefit Africa.
Very well. Mr. Ormo, the challenges, the way you see them.
The challenges that Africa faces in terms of ICT development can be framed in just one word: access. And whether you are talking of infrastructure, whether you are talking of economic factors that lead to either lack of infrastructure or access gaps that we see, or usage gaps, they are all related to issues of access. We have a big continent, and most of our rural population still don't have access to ICT services on account of lack of infrastructure. There are areas where service providers have tech and infrastructure, and we see usage gap in the sense that the service is available, but people are not using it. So that's a usage gap.
Or may not have resources to procure the services.
Yes, largely on account of lack of resources. There are also other reasons. The content is not ideal for them, or just that they don't feel like sufficiently skilled enough to use the gadgets that you and me are use as toys. And so we have those challenges. We also have the challenge of, as I say, high cost of terminals. Terminals that are in our hand that we use. And if you are talking to somebody in a rural setting, whether to put food on the table or have a smartphone, the priority, of course, is to take a child to school.
Unless your priorities are skewed, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we have those challenges in terms of the cost of terminals that we have. We have challenges with the cost of services in our countries in terms of affordability, and so we need to ensure that these services are available and affordable to
Mr.
our people.
Omar, what are you doing as the ATU to lobby for governments, for the policymaker, to deal with access, the one-word challenge?
Fortunately, we are a membership-based organization, and we have worked with our governments in terms of policy changes that we need to see to enable the private sector to afford to provide this service. And a good number of our countries have adopted fiscal policies, either tax rebates, soaring up accessibility to terminals in terms of manufacturing those terminals in Africa, or supporting the acquisition of those terminals by people. We also have worked in the area of ensuring that people have the skill sets within our governments, within our countries, to enable them, use these gadgets. Also, the issue of content, relevant content for our people. If for example, a practical case is two towns next to each other, which market center is giving me a better price for my vegetable. And so if that content is available to me online as a vegetable producer or a marketer, then I take it to the market. So availability of relevant content is something we're working with governments.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's available to them.
Madam Fancy, collaboration, cooperation, those are matters very close to your heart. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about how we can better collaborate from the perspective of government, the regulator, but also other stakeholders within the telecommunications space.
As we move into the digital age, we require much more collaboration. Not only government and the regulator, but also the private sector and also the academia. Because now we are in an age where we need applications. And those applications has to be developed at our tertiary institutions. At the same time, we also, because we use new technologies and we are more online, or we only use the technology to better the lives and the work circumstances of the man in the street, we have to engage with the man in the street as well, to understand their needs better so that we can produce what is really needed. And what is really needed not only for the country, but also in collaboration with our neighboring countries and other states in Africa, so that we can create economies of scale to bring affordability closer to the Africa continent.
We have made some strides in terms of the development of applications. Every now and then one is very pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
The city of Windhoek, for instance, just launched an application in terms of which you can access your account and where it is managed also from that perspective. We saw the Namibia University of Science and Technology not too long ago launch an application following the death of a team member who was allegedly murdered by her partner, on how women can better report violence and seek help. What do you make of those strides that we are indeed making?
Yes, we are indeed making some strides. We have also seen, even in the agriculture center, at our green schemes, in terms of using technology to monitor climate factors to ensure that we can enhance production. And we can see a big area in that we will be working with climate change also at Africa level, and the resiliency of also the networks. Because the more you rely on ICT to help you to produce more and to be more productive as active in the economy, the networks also have to become more resilient for us right through.
Absolutely.
I think we've all experienced the power failures, and we were all very unhappy.
Not only
with
failures on account of
connectivity.
power failures, but so, I always say that technology is a great friend, but unfortunately they're not a consistent friend. They do embarrass you from time to time. What's your take on that?
I think technology does not embarrass. It is us, the application we make of it as human beings, the interface we have with the technology.
We embarrass ourselves.
Yes, I would put it that way. I think the challenges that I alluded to earlier in terms of infrastructure, whether at the level of energy or at the level of, I mean, if a service provider is taking a service to a rural part of Namibia, they need a road, they need power. And so the concept of one of government, which is, are we having integrated planning when we're pushing a road, when we're pushing energy, when we're pushing telecommunications or ICT services or fiber, are we doing this as one government, as one Namibia?
As a harmonized voice.
As a harmonized. And you find perhaps the roads department are just thinking of the roads alone, independent of railways, independent of telecoms, independent of water. So we need to ensure that utilities, whether water or gas or whatever roads, are available as one, so that we can share this infrastructure. And that way, the services become more affordable to our people.
Mr. Omo, you have a very important day still ahead of you. Just your brief final thoughts before we let you go.
Well, we've embarked on the process of preparing for the World Telecommunications Development Conference, and that's where, you know, how telecommunications develop worldwide. That's where the discourse happens. And as Africans, we must sit at that table to ensure that our needs, our aspirations, our orientation as a people is taken care of. And so we are meeting here in Namibia to chart the way of how, you know, Africa will participate in that conversation. And it is my hope that we can rally our governments, we can rally our private sector to speak with one voice at that conference so that our needs are adequately catered for.
Thank you so much. Madam Lagransi, your brief final thoughts?
Yeah, as Mr. Omo said, we are now busy setting our priorities for Africa and to create a sense of purpose as how we're going to approach this conference that is coming up next year. And for that purpose, this is only the second preparatory meeting. There will be 2 more, so that we can ensure that we have a cohesive front when we sit at that table to discuss the development of Africa using ICT.
Because if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
No, we will not fail to prepare.
Yeah, that's why
we will be well prepared.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise this morning. Good luck with the next couple of days, and good luck with the next 2 preparatory meetings.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
There you have it. The Africa Telecommunications Union Secretary General is in the land of the brave to engage the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, particularly the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia and other stakeholders. And this is the second of 4 preparatory meetings as we prepare for the big summit that will be taking place next year. We'll be back after a brief break.